Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, let's talk about the dream of earning money without actively working for it. Imagine waking up tomorrow to see that an extra $500 simply appeared in your account while you were completely asleep. That scenario might sound like a pure fantasy, or worse yet, like some forbidden get-rich-quick scheme from a questionable source. But I want to assure you that generating passive income is not only entirely real, but is actually a practice that is highly encouraged within the faith of Islam. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him himself, established streams of income that generated wealth without his daily constant effort. The esteemed Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet, successfully built substantial wealth through these very same passive income models. Today, countless Muslims are diligently following this path, building financial freedom the correct and halal way. In this video, I will break down precisely what passive income means when viewed through a correct Islamic lens. We will also reveal exactly why much of the common passive income advice floating around out there is unfortunately haram and must be avoided by us. Finally, I will lay out 7 specific halal methods you can begin implementing today to start building wealth while you are resting. However, you must understand that true passive income is rarely completely passive right at the very beginning of the journey. Make sure you stay with me until the very end, because I will share the single method requiring the absolute minimum amount of initial setup work. Now that the hook is set, let us formally begin by clearly defining what we are actually discussing here. Passive income. In the simplest possible terms, passive income is any form of money you earn with only minimal, low ongoing effort after an initial, significant investment of either your time, your capital, or both combined. But here is the critical point where almost everyone misunderstands the concept. They falsely assume passive means absolutely zero work will ever be required. That specific belief is entirely untrue because every single legitimate passive income stream demands a solid amount of concentrated work up front to get it established. The real fundamental difference is that you perform the necessary work intensely one time, and then you are rewarded with payments repeatedly over time. From an Islamic perspective, our beautiful tradition has always recognized and accepted passive income streams as entirely legitimate forms of building wealth. In fact, it is considered one of the most intelligent ways to build true financial freedom because you are no longer strictly limited by the 24 hours available in your day. Just consider the example of the Prophet, peace be upon him, who owned date palm orchards that naturally produced fruit for him year after productive year. Think also of the early companions who pooled capital to invest in large trade caravans, earning profit shares without personally having to endure the difficult travel themselves. We see the principle in Waqf properties, which are Islamic endowments that perpetually generate rental income, specifically for charitable causes. The great companion Uthman ibn Affan, may Allah be pleased with him, famously owned operational wells that local people paid a small fee to use for their needs. Allah mentions in Surah Al-Jumu'ah, verse 10, to disperse across the land and seek diligently from the immense bounty of Allah. This seeking of bounty absolutely includes the intelligent creation of systems that are designed to generate ongoing income for you automatically. The absolute key difference that separates the halal path is the legitimate, ethical source from which that passive income must originate. First, it must come from the recognized and lawful ownership of a tangible or intellectual asset that you control. Second, that asset or service must actively provide some form of tangible, real value to the people who are utilizing it. Third, and most importantly for our community, the income stream must be completely free from any element of riba, which is usury or interest. It must also strictly avoid any elements of gharar, which Islam defines as excessive uncertainty or ambiguity in the transaction. Finally, the asset cannot be involved in any business that deals in products or services explicitly deemed haram, such as alcohol or gambling. Therefore, when you hear generic advice suggesting high-yield savings accounts or standard dividend stock purchases, you must immediately stop, as the underlying structure is often riba-based and therefore haram for us. We must actively seek out and focus on the available halal alternatives that meet these high ethical standards we just discussed. With that foundation understood, let us move on to method number 1, which is rental income, the most classical approach to building ownership wealth. This is the fundamental, proven method for generating passive cash flow that our grandparents and great-grandparents readily understood and utilized. The concept is beautifully simple. You acquire property, you place a reliable tenant inside, and you collect a steady stream of income every single month. This strategy is halal because the Prophet, peace be upon him, directly permitted the practice of renting out, one's land to a brother for cultivation. You are simply being compensated fairly for allowing someone else the temporary, beneficial use of your rightfully owned asset. Consider the real-life example of Brother Khalid, who successfully purchased a modest apartment in Dubai using his own accumulated savings. He secured a rental agreement for $1,500 per month, which, after management fees and halal financing payments, resulted in about $600 of true passive profit. This single unit generated over $7,000 in passive income for him across the entire first year of ownership. But the true magic happens over time. After about 15 years, once the financing is completely paid off, that $1,500 becomes almost entirely pure profit for him. That now translates to a massive $18,000 annually in passive cash flow generated from just one single investment property. If you wish to start this classical way via option A, the first step involves saving diligently for a substantial down payment, typically 20 to 30% of the purchase price. You must then secure financing that is completely Sharia compliant, such as a murabaha or musharaka agreement, explicitly ruling out any conventional interest-bearing mortgages. Smart investors conduct thorough research to buy properties situated in areas that currently possess strong and consistent rental demand from the community. To maintain your passivity, it is highly recommended to hire a professional property management company to handle all the day-to-day tenant issues and maintenance calls. Alternatively, option B allows you to use modern real estate crowdfunding platforms that are specifically vetted to be Sharia compliant. Platforms like Yielders allow ethical investors to participate in large real estate deals by starting with much smaller capital investments, sometimes just $500. You then earn rental income that is directly proportional to the small percentage of the overall property you have managed to invest in. This modern avenue completely bypasses the need for you to ever deal with a leaking faucet or a late-paying tenant yourself. Crucial compliance note number 1. You must use only Islamic financing structures. Conventional loans with interest are strictly forbidden. Furthermore, ethically, you should never rent your property to a business whose primary activity involves selling alcohol, pork products, or any other known haram service. You have an ethical duty to maintain the property properly, as collecting rent, while knowingly allowing it to fall into disrepair, is unethical exploitation. Always strive to be a fair and just landlord by ensuring that the rent you charge is reasonable and not aggressively exploiting a desperate tenant's need. The income potential here is very strong, ranging from a minimum of $500 to well over $5,000 every single month for each successfully managed property. Now, let's transition to method number 2, the modern goldmine that is creating and selling your own unique digital products online. This revolutionary approach involves you creating a valuable item one single time, perhaps an ebook, a comprehensive course, or a useful template, and then selling that creation infinitely without any further work from you. The reason this method is completely halal is because you are essentially selling deeply valuable knowledge and expertise that you have rightfully acquired and packaged. The Prophet, peace be upon him, highly encouraged the dissemination of beneficial knowledge. So if your content is truthful, it is perfectly permissible. For Islamic-specific products, you could author Quranic study guides, beginner Arabic learning courses, or practical parenting ebooks. You could also create journals focused on daily dhikr and du'as, or specialized planners designed specifically for the month of Ramadan. If you have professional skills, you can create business templates, complex financial spreadsheets, or even graphic design assets for popular platforms. Consider the success of Sister Amina, who spent 3 focused months creating a 50-page ebook offering practical guidance for Muslim families in the West. She prices that single, valuable resource at $27, and it continues to attract new customers automatically every single month. After only the first year, her initial work had already generated over $5,000 in revenue, with sales still climbing in the subsequent years. The fantastic total across 3 years was over $33,000 earned from that one creation that she worked on intensely only once. To begin this, step 1 is to deeply identify your area of unique expertise, or the problem people always ask you to solve for them. Next, you must dedicate yourself to creating the actual digital product, which could be a simple PDF guide, or perhaps a more involved video training course. The time commitment for this creation phase can range from 20 dedicated hours for a small guide up to 100 hours for a comprehensive online course. Step 3 involves setting up a reliable platform to handle sales, like Gumroad for ease of use, or Teachable, specifically for hosting video courses. The final crucial step is aggressive marketing to your specific target audience using social media, an email list, or relevant community groups. For Islamic compliance here, ensure you price your knowledge fairly, making sure you are not dramatically overcharging for basic information. You are ethically bound to deliver genuinely valuable content. Do not attempt to sell fluff that provides no real-world benefit to the buyer. It is also a requirement of good faith to update your digital product if the information within it becomes significantly outdated or incorrect. If a customer is genuinely unsatisfied after reviewing your product, you must have a clear and accessible refund policy in place. Never fall into the trap of making exaggerated or false promises about the kind of life, changing results your information will instantly bring to them. Once this digital asset business becomes established, the potential income is excellent, often ranging from $500 up to $10,000 or even more monthly. This is truly passive because after the creation phase, sales continue happening while you are sleeping, praying, or enjoying time with your beloved family. Method number 3 involves leveraging the incredible power of YouTube ad revenue, earning money from videos you uploaded just once a long time ago. It is completely halal because you are providing valuable educational content, and YouTube shares the ad revenue generated by the viewers who watch it. Take the case of Brother Omar, who built up 50 foundational Arabic videos over 6 months, and then decided to stop creating new material to focus on his primary job. Those 50 evergreen videos continued to bring in steady viewership, averaging $1,200 a month by his second year on the platform. That means he was earning $18,000 a year passively from the educational work he originally completed 3 full years prior to that time. To start earning yourself, you must first reach the monetization threshold of 1,000 subscribers and at least 4,000 hours of total public watch time. YouTube's payment system calculates your earnings based on CPM, which is the cost per 1,000 views, heavily influenced by your niche and the viewer's location. For the best long-term results, you should choose evergreen topics that will naturally stay relevant for many years, such as essential how tutorials or foundational educational content. When creating your videos, prioritize delivering crystal clear audio quality, which you can often achieve with just a decent external microphone. You must also optimize every video for the YouTube search engine by using relevant keywords in your titles and detailed descriptions. The general strategy is to consistently build a large library, aiming for at least 50 to 100 high-quality videos over a year or so. Once that substantial library is complete, you are then free to significantly reduce your content frequency and let your archive do the consistent work for you. In terms of compliance, you are responsible for ensuring that you only enable monetization features on videos that contain strictly halal subject matter. While you cannot perfectly control the third-party ads shown, you must never promote haram products or services directly within your own speech or on-screen content. Respecting copyright is essential, meaning you must exclusively use music and images that are properly licensed or completely royalty-free for commercial use. The income potential here, with a well-established deep library, is very robust, often landing between $500 and $5,000 or more per month. This strategy demands significant upfront creative labor, but the resulting content library generates passive revenue for many years into the future. Finally, let us look at method number 4, print on demand, which allows you to sell merchandise without ever touching or holding any inventory whatsoever. This involves you creating a unique design one single time, and then a third-party company automatically prints and ships that item the moment a customer places an order. This is considered halal because you are providing original, creative intellectual property, and you are facilitating a legitimate retail trade transaction. You can create Islamic calligraphy designs for t-shirts, motivational, quote, mugs, prayer reminder posters, or unique, modest fashion graphics. Sister Fatima created just 20 original Islamic calligraphy designs and uploaded them to a couple of popular print platforms. Every time someone buys one of her pieces, it is automatically printed, packed, and shipped directly to the customer by the service provider. She earns a clean profit of about $5 to $15 on every single sale, depending on the specific item the customer chose to purchase. She spent only one concentrated month creating those initial 20 designs, and they have now been generating income for her for over 2 years straight. Averaging 50 sales per month with an $8 profit per item means she is now netting a solid $400 in passive income monthly. That small, consistent effort from a single month now brings her an extra $4,800 annually without any